Joe says the game broke me mentally. Um, I think that, and I'm going to say something that may offend some people here. I say stuff like that all the time. Who am I kidding? I don't need to preface that, but I've seen some unjustified hatred towards The Last of Us 2. And I think that just goes to show you that the game did what it was supposed to do, which is spark a conversation about how horrific humanity really could be in situations like that. I don't think a lot of people realize his background, Neil's background, where he's from, how it pertains to the current political situation going on over there. I don't want to get political on my channel because of reasons. But when you look at what he went through in his childhood and what he has seen with his own two eyes, um, there are things in life that change you as a human being, and I think that that is where we get, as painful as those situations might be, as painful as those experiences are, as horrific as they can be. The grossness of humanity is also what makes the most compelling stories, and because there are things that resonate with us at our core level as human beings, and The Last of Us 2 does that in a way that most video games are just there to provide you with a vehicle for fun. It's an entertainment thing. Other projects are cinematic storytelling devices, and The Last of Us 2 is one of those where they're not afraid to show you that it's not just about being a video game. It's about telling a story, and that story might not be something that has a happy ending. It is at most, at best, a bittersweet ending. It is a horrific tale about people who just have to deal with the most horrific side. I keep using that word, but that's how I feel. It's a good word to define it. It shows things that are just visceral. Um, I don't think it's any secret at this point. No spoilers here, but I don't think it's any secret. It's been out for a long time now that the way Joel comes to his end, I was not expecting that, and it was one of the most gut-wrenching moments I've ever had ever in a video game. And after that, I was just sort of being dragged along across like a bloody trail of rocks and bruises as we follow follow the story of these two people who are it's two people, but it's core, but it affects way more people than that, and their sort of journey through this world and what led them to that point and that person, and trying to find the humanity within them. But it also had a great cast of side characters. One of them was played by um, it's the same actor that's on Star Trek Discovery. Um, I think they're a trans actor, and they were in that game as like the sibling to one of the characters. And there's this like subplot where you like go into the Raiders compound or whatever and help them, and it's like you're doing all of this, and you're playing characters that normally you would never play, and because you're playing these characters who previously you would look at as like only bad guy characters, but you're seeing things from their perspective, that made a lot of people uncomfortable. But I think that's what made it such an amazing game, was because it pushed people out of their comfort zone. Um, uh, it was just intense along the whole way. I mean, it's not an unfair criticism, Joe. I feel the same way about certain parts of like the prequel trilogy for Star Wars. Like I love everything George Lucas does. I'm not, I will look at things and critique things. There are definitely segments of the like prequel trilogy as an example that I would strip out because they either dragged on a little too much or they're kind of unnecessary. Um, but otherwise, at the core, they're really fun, And The Last of Us 2 is like it's just such an amazing experience. It probably could have had some more fat trimmed off, but I think they were also developing that game at the peak of their success, um, before all the crunch stuff hit them. And that has definitely made them refine their processes since then. But they've always made good games. Naughty Dog has always made really exceptional games. And The Last of Us 2 in particular, I definitely came away from that game not thinking, oh, this is a game of the year game because of these reasons, but I came away from it going, oh my God, that was it was such a, like I said, such a visceral experience. That's the only way I can think of to describe it at the moment. Going through that when I finished, it was just kind of like you're just kind of sitting there in shocked silence, for a while, going, what the hell just happened? And then you kind of limp away from that, go curl up at the corner, sleep it off, wake up and just kind of go, holy crap, that was life changing. Like it's I don't there are very few games that have affected me um that level. They're intense. I'm really looking forward to Hellblade 1 and 2. They're very short games, I've been told. The second one's coming out at the end of May, but the first one I'm getting ready to play the first one probably this weekend. I'll play the first one. I've heard it's like 6 to 8 hours, something like that. But I've heard it's such a psychological mind fuck along the way. I'm really looking forward to having that. Um, that's one of the things I really like about this game. Um, is that they're not afraid to shy away from some of the more gritty, dark stuff, which was totally missing from Starfield. Um, I think Akazar has said it a couple times, like Starfield very very much felt PG-13, whereas Fallout has always felt rated R, and it feels more like it's a lot more in your face about certain things. It's not afraid to shy away from the violence and stuff. Um, all right, tell me about robots.